At first, the news was shared in a low-key manner, but it quickly spread over social media and television. The death of Victor, Eric Braeden has passed away. He was at home and was able to pass away gently 1 hour ago. There was a momentous shift that occurred in the world of daytime drama in the course of 60 minutes. The city of Genoa, both in the real world and in our thoughts, is suddenly filled with silence. The Young and the Restless was forever changed by Eric Braeden's depiction of Victor Newman, which lasted for more than 4 decades and left an everlasting mark on the reality television show. Fans did not consider him to be merely an actor, rather, they considered him to be the godfather of soap opera grandeur, a ruthless titan with a sensitive heart. The individual who was responsible for the mythology has passed away today. Feeling loss for someone who has always been, on some sense, a fictional character is a weird experience. After being shot, poisoned, kidnapped, and considered dead, Victor Newman has risen from the dead but then resurrected. But those returns that are so close to being mythical belong to the world of television. With a life that extended beyond the pages of scripts and the sets of films, the actor who played Victor was a real-world person. There is no longer any life left. Rumors are circulating, tributes are pouring in, and hashtags are trending in the final hour. Programs on television networks are frequently interrupted. The co-stars take a break in the middle of the take. Fans from all across the world are sending their prayers and memories. Everything comes to a halt. The studio lights are darkened, the final lines are committed to memory, and the face has become more kind as a result of years of laughing, fury, tears, and ambition. I see him in his final moments. Imagine him lounging in his favorite recliner, perhaps with old photographs on a table nearby. These photographs may be of him from his days in the theater, family portraits, or private moments behind the scenes. The stillness of the breath, followed by silence, followed by a peaceful breath. How will his legacy be remembered? That he was the father who loved with a quiet fury, despite the fact that he was the iron hand behind Newman Enterprises. It was said that he wielded power in every boardroom, every family fight, and every treachery that was uttered. That his voice, which was deep and authoritative, was the perfect accompaniment to power. That we learned how to love and fear at the same time, how to admire fierce ambition, and how to root for a flawed guy are all things that he taught us. Eric Braeden was a guy of conviction, even though he was portraying a character. The most notable of his health problems was the fact that he had made a public announcement in 2023 that he had been diagnosed with cancer, and he later disclosed that he had been cancer-free. He suffered through the destruction of his old residence in the Pacific Palisades, which was ravaged by fires, and he watched as the physical structure of so many memories was reduced to ash. In his defense of his profession and among his contemporaries, he had mentioned the prejudice that exists against soap opera players. It was during those tests that he displayed a trait that Victor did not exhibit very often: vulnerability. Currently, in the wake of his demise, there is a striking contrast between the fictional Victor Newman, who will go on in perpetuity, and the mortal human who played the role, who is now at peace. It is possible that Victor's eternal return was a reflection of the man's unyielding energy. It is also possible that something has happened lately. This week on The Young and the Restless, what will happen next? It is necessary for the writers to take into consideration the absence. Is there going to be a replacement for Victor of some kind? Are there plans to memorialize the character in the show? Will they decide to permanently dismiss Victor, or will they devise a means by which he can continue to live in absentia, such as through flashbacks, legends, or whispered memories? How will the other characters deal with the absence of their former friend? In the tale, as well as in the emotions of the fans, Victoria, Nikki, Nick, Adam, and Abby will have to express their sorrow for him. Imagine the following scene. As the sun began to set above Genoa City, the Newman property became darker. Imagine a solitary woman, possibly Victoria, strolling through chambers that were formerly occupied by her father. When she touches the piano and the bookcases, she may notice that a framed photograph has a fracture in it. In a low voice, she says, "Dad, I miss you." An eyelid sheds a tear as a quiet homage. A blank screen appears on the screen. And beyond the realm of fiction, in living rooms all around the world, believers are sitting in astonished unbelief. While others are staring blankly at the TV, others are clutching tissues. In order to replay their favorite Victor monologues, some will scroll. Other people have shared their recollections, saying things like, "I remember when he reprimanded Jill Abbott on live TV, he said that to Nick, and I cheered, and he was the first soap villain I truly loved to hate." Overflowing comment areas are a problem. Social media is in mourning. The growth of a soap opera icon, the altering portrayal of power in daytime drama, and the emotional impact on serialized television are all topics that will be the subject of studies written by critics and university professors. It is expected that students will discuss the following eras: the Victor as villain years, the Victor as father and patriarch years, and the Victor in decline years. An examination of Eric's performance will be carried out, focusing on his body language, cadence, and the manner in which he transformed stillness into threat. In addition, the family is privately grieving someplace, hidden below all of the glitz and pain. Photographs, letters, and other personal souvenirs are gathered by them. They are holding hands. Their memories include his joy, his struggles, and his unassuming generosity. Even though the guy has passed away, the character will live on in reruns, memories, and people's hearts forever. The irony is that Victor Newman, the guy who defied death on film, ultimately triumphed over death itself. This is a moment that is filled with grief. He was given a false sense of immortality by the artifice, yet, the man is still human and is destined to the same end as all of us. A portion of him, however, will not disappear. The spirit of Eric Braeden will reverberate whenever someone hears the phrase, "I'll be back," watches a Newman boardroom showdown, or hears Victor declare, "You underestimate me." Victor will continue to exist in the world of soap operas thanks to the fact that tales will mention him, characters will talk about him, and flashbacks may bring him back to life. It is inevitable that his dialogue will continue to motivate, test, and terrify. After an hour has passed, the planet starts to reset itself. Tributes are broadcast, the news anchors speak in a solemn tone, and co-stars appear in front of the camera with tears in their eyes. Daytime shifts are the universe's universe. On the other hand, literature is aware that great performances never completely disappear. Outwardly, their voices can be heard. The vacant desk that Victor has is what I see in my mind's eye. I see the statue of Newman, as well as the empty suit jacket that is hanging in the closet. From where I am standing, I can see Nikki waiting for him to enter the building through the front door. I picture Eric, reclining beyond the beyond, taking a deep breath and living in tranquility. Unfortunately, the man has passed away, but his legacy will live on. On and on the legend goes.